That is the Lancaster Capitol Heritage Flag, flying in the county of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Our tour begins at Buchanan Park in the city of Lancaster, which is at Franklin and Marshall University. You can see the flag there in front of a mock replica of the county courthouse. In 1918, the Liberty Bond Building was built by Thaddeus Stevens High School as a replica of the colonial-era courthouse, which would later become Capitol for one day. It was at the center of Penn Square in downtown Lancaster, where volunteers sold war bonds for World War I and World War II. After World War II, Liberty Bond Building was moved to Buchanan Park, right next to Franklin and Marshall. In this drawing here, you can see a more accurate depiction of the courthouse. Note it is 2 stories and has much more length and width. And here is a painting of our courthouse. Can you spot the Lancaster Courthouse in this drawing here? This drawing was made in 1757 by Nicholas Garrison Jr. It's the only contemporary drawing of the courthouse. It's kept currently at the Moravian Archives in Bethlehem. And there it is in the background, just barely visible sketched back there. It was not the main focus of the drawing, but nonetheless, it is the only contemporary drawing we have. Then in 1781, the courthouse burnt down. You can only imagine how beautiful the courthouse must have been. And imagine our founding fathers conducting business for one day. And imagine, indeed, is what the people of Lancaster did in 1918. This replica, of course, is much smaller than the original. As most people know, the original capital of the United States was in Philadelphia in 1776. The second capital was actually in Baltimore, Maryland. They scooted over for a few months in 1776. But by 1777, they moved back into Philly. So what happened? Well, it was on September 11th, 1777, that George Washington was defeated at the Battle of Brandywine, and this left the fledgling capital open for British occupation. In the aftermath, Congress decided to move west. First, they stopped at Lancaster for one day, conducted some business, and decided to move to York, across the Susquehanna River. And you can probably figure out why they made that decision. Any tactician will recognize that the Susquehanna provides a barrier or an extra level of protection should the British come over and invade. And here we are back at the Liberty Bond House, which is a replica, actually a nice work of art of our third capital, so to speak. Interesting note is the chief political officer at this time, on September 27th, 1777, was not George Washington, but was John Hancock. Some basic business was conducted, and the most important thing was move to York, across the river for safety. Let's take a look at the actual location where the building stood on September 27th, 1777. You can see there's our Capitol Heritage flag flying on the very spot of where the Capitol building used to be. Now it's mostly a Civil War monument, or rather, a General War monument. And this is the actual location of our third capital. You can imagine it being right there. Let's imagine one more time. Oh, there it is. Oh, and there's that flag. Erected by the people of Lancaster County to the memory of their fellow citizens who fell in defense of the Union in the War of Rebellion, 1861
1865. It says right there, erected in 1874. And at the very, very bottom, it says, on this spot, let's try that again. On this spot stood the courthouse in which the Continental Congress met September 27th, 1777. So right here, this is the spot of the Capitol. This has become a memorial for the Civil War, and additionally to the Korean War, War of 1812, Vietnam War, World War II, the Revolutionary War, of course, sacrifice of men and women, World War I, Vietnam, Persian, and on and on. Here's our red rose, Lancaster. It's not quite red here, of course, it's imprint. And then we have right here is our Gettysburg Address, 407 years. Surrounded by American flags. Got the names of the battles, map, and Hill, Vicksburg. And of course, flying over here is the uniquely created Capitol Heritage flag for Lancaster. And notice it's the inverse colors of the nation's capital. Well, Lancaster gets the red version because, of course, the red rose. As you can see the red over there. Ducats. Fulton buildings. Off in the distance there is the Pennsylvania state flag. You really can't see it. And we have our Marriott right there.
And here we are at Grant and Duke Street at the modern courthouse of Lancaster County. And here's the front view of the courthouse at its traditional entrance. Just keep going by. Oh, there's a fire truck. Looks like there's not a fire. And you'll see throughout Lancaster that Red Rose logo stems to the Red Rose of Lancaster, England, House of Lancaster. You remember here the War of the Roses.
Go look around.
So we are back in the country of Lancaster County, famous for its Amish Americans. Like a one-hit wonder, Lancaster was capital for a day. It may seem like a small point, but it's nonetheless the point. On that path to freedom and independence, Lancaster played her part.
We are in Lancaster along Route 30 where the Congress had to retreat to Lancaster and then to York to avoid capture by the British. We are in Lancaster. Dutch Haven. What an icon. Get your shoe fly pie right here at Dutch Haven.
Tasty old-fashioned shoe fly pie. It's gooey. For best results, place the microwave for 15 seconds per slice. Served with whipped cream. Made by a time-tested recipe from the following choice ingredients: white flour, vegetable shortening, brown sugar, water, sugar, salt, baking soda, cinnamon, corn syrup, and finally, refiner's syrup. Hey Pop, eat yourself some shoe fly pie. No shoes and no flies. Although you could add those if you were starving. Da, 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 da. We have our shoe fly pie from Lancaster with our Capitol Heritage flag. Not only does Lancaster have a flag you can underscore, you can actually taste this flag. Tasty, delicious treat here. The shoe fly pie. Woo-hoo.
Congratulations, Lancaster. So here's our shoe fly pie. You gonna sniff? No, this is people food, baby. So it should be with whipped cream. You can look at the insides there. Nice, typical pie. No, kitty. Bad kitty. So here is our shoe fly pie on the inside, crumbled open. It's got a nice soft texture on the outside, crumbly. Add some whipped cream, and you are good to go. You can get the flavor of Lancaster County, capital for a day, and delicious delight for infinity. Amen.